matchup. I would say probably a little bit more than most.
Oh, for sure. But it's still. I actually played Horizon this matchup. Like, I want to say I rang for a game for Hehe United. And the matchup's pretty even because the Magnus can always just spam. I think you win in farm as the Wind Ranger just because it's easier for you to CS.
Yeah.
But the Magnus is a hero like Zeus where no matter what happens, you're going to get your own farm. You just can't really stop a Magnus from farming. And I was right. Look at that. See, Bambo Enigma. Like, I just know him. Oh. I just know him so well.
Alright, so
Prepare for
what is really the appeal of going, okay, I seem to be stuck in player perspective. Like, I actually have I have Earthshaker's player perspective.
Do you have something?
What kind of bug is this? No, you can't actually click that when
you're
you're
right.
live.
Huh, this is really weird.
Yeah,
you might just have to I can only do that shot because I worked with them a lot. They're homies.
Oh my god, it's still stuck. What?
Oh, this is awkward.
I actually don't.
You've never had this happen to you before?
30 seconds to battle.
Is there a button you can press?
I've never had this happen before because this is definitely not a.
I mean,
admin? No.
Okay, well, there's gonna be a level 1 fight, which we can't actually see because your thing's bugged. And they're actually gonna kill Pycat here.
First blood. Ah, first blood, and so much more shall soon be spilled.
Is it just? Are we just gonna cast watching EGM play the entire game?
No.
Oh, can you actually?
I can go to your. I can go to your.
Okay, okay.
Your camera is now on screen.
Okay, cool.
So, cameraman blitz, everybody.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. And yeah, he's actually gonna get the kill. This is like the weirdest engagement I've ever seen. Because right now, you guys didn't see it, but they actually got the first blood onto, I believe, Arise got the last hit. Yeah, but at the same time, Pycat got a kill right after, but it's definitely going to be in favor of the Magnus now.
Okay, I'm just gonna watch. I'm just gonna watch off of your screen.
Okay, for sure.
Because this is really weird following just EGM's perspective. It doesn't actually give me that much to work off. Yeah, let's. All right, hold on, guys. We're gonna do. We're gonna do an awkward swap.
The old joint.
Yeah, just the buttons at the top. Like, oh yeah, we're live. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I'm not used to not having in-ears. Okay, now I'm on camera and we can actually follow things a little bit. Oh my goodness, Mad. He's probably gonna go down here. A couple more right clicks. Oh, never mind. Paris is fine. What is this dual lane that we're having? A Bane Axe dual lane against the tri lane?
I think it's okay, and I think. Because there's not a lot of kill potential from the three of those heroes, so it's probably not the worst thing.
He almost got tossed up on the cliff there. That was actually a pretty good play if he didn't manage to get that one. Which then leaves our Lina as a solo support with Sing Sing's Juggernaut up against Bambo's Enigma, who seems to be doing really well for himself. Like Enigma, from what I remember, like we haven't actually seen too much Enigma offlane in Dota 2. But I remember going back to the Dota 1 days where Enigma was one of those offlaners who could just always get experience no matter what you did because he can always fall back on his own jungle. But very often he would just take over your own jungle. And you could exactly see that with only one support, it's really hard for them to be able to stop him from taking over the jungle and just throwing eidolons at this solo support. So they're going to bring Mad up here or down to this bottom lane now.
I mean, Mad isn't going to be able to accomplish a whole lot at top, so he's eventually going to rotate down because there's no way they should just let Bambo farm. Like, he's already got 11 CS right now with 2 denies, and the Jug is going to have quite a hard time contesting that at all. So a lot of this is just going to come down to how much they're going to be able to do in contesting Bambo's offlane. Because the Axe is getting a decent amount too. Like, he's level 3 already. But a lot of this game is going to come down to the mid matchup too. Like, if Arise is one of those really snowball players, like if he has a good time in the mid matchup, it really sets him on pace.
And if you're matched up against someone like Arise,
Invisibility.
moment. I feel like the Enigma is still going to be a really strong counter to the play from... Did you actually get it back?
Yeah, I'm a genius. I just restarted Dota like itself and it was fine.
Alright, do you want to swap again?
What's the point of that?
Because then I have access to my production. You don't know what to do with the production,
okay.
Blitz.
We'll use it. Man, this is so bad. Somebody's saying the audio. What's wrong with the audio?
I bet I'm too loud. Flame BTS, and this is what happens. Way to go, Blitz. You cursed us. Alright.
This isn't on me.
Dota 2 bug. Don't worry. Reborn will fix it. Alright.
I mean, you know, I always blame Twitch chat for always being wrong, but they were right. Somebody in chat was like, all you have to do is restart Dota and it'll work, lol. And look, it did.
It was still better for us to swap chairs, though.
Yeah.
I couldn't just be out of the game for that long.
For sure, for sure. It's our first cast, guys. We're amateurs. Get it down.
We're new to this whole thing. Please forgive us.
I mean, Austin is for sure, but...
Oh my god. Again, the most demoralizing co-caster I've ever had in my life.
If this is your first cast, Austin, you're doing a real good job. Like, I just want to put that out there.
Alright. We'll, hopefully the audio levels are a bit better now.
Oh, apparently I was low.
Yeah, because we had to swap chairs and your audio, etc.
Oh, I see.
Because you're just a quieter person in general.
Yeah, I don't talk very loud.
Yeah. Because you've got nothing good to say, really.
Oh, at top. Oh, he's so dead.
Very dead. Nice pick off. EGM actually had a good rotation, was almost a good rotation onto the Magnus middle when the skewer was on cooldown. He just didn't quite see the opportunity, but it looks like Yapzor might actually be able to make some sort of play here. If they get the right light strike array, it looks like they're trying to loosen him up a little bit with Shockwave.
Oh, gonna miss it.
Yapzor missed that opportunity to just the timing. He just happened to throw the light strike array right as our Wind Ranger started running back.
Yeah, that was a really awkward timing for him. I think it would have actually been better for him to just go for it.
Yeah.
Because once the creep died, there's very little opportunity, but this mid matchup is pretty even. Both of them have near identical CS. When it comes to net worth, of course the Magnus did get the first blood, so he's going to be a little bit ahead, but this is a matchup again where both teams are just going to farm.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, CS-wise, Arise is doing really well. 30-1 compared to the 27-8 on the Wind Ranger.
Yeah,
Has he been using the medium camp at all, or is that just him doing really well in CS?
This is just you as a Magnus. Like, this isn't surprising to me just because it's impossible for the Wind Ranger to really out-deny. Like, you've got 72 damage, you've got 6 armor to deal with as a buffer, and he can just spam Shockwave if he has trouble getting CS.
What do you think about the... Because sometimes you see Magnuses go for the 1 level of Empower, like at level 1, and then they only have 1 level of Skewer early on, but it just means that you're able to, like, you're talking about that attack damage difference between the two, and it just becomes all the greater when you're able to add Empower on top of that.
I think the Empower is okay, but it's really good when you're playing against fellow melee heroes or when you're playing against something like a Templar Assassin,
Right.
where you can make real good use of it. But I think when you're playing against just a flat Wind Ranger, it's better to just get the extra level of skewer, just because of how much distance she can put between her and you, like especially if you want to go for a kill or something like that. It's a really good gap closer.
See, Paris seems to be doing actually quite well as the off-lane axe. He's level 6 by 6.5 minutes. I mean, we just actually did a video talking about off-lane positions and how being able to get, 1 level per minute essentially as an off-laner is doing quite well. So even if he has died, like that's sometimes the price you have to pay, right? As an off-laner where you play really aggressively in order to get levels. Like you may die once, but at least you still get progression, whereas playing too defensively will just result in you being too far behind when you start going into the mid game.
I think I talked to, I can't remember who it was, maybe it was Infinity about that. Is like he says, as an offlaner, you can't really die too many times, but sometimes it's okay for you to die as long as you get, if the creep wave pushes out, you get a level or two out of it. Like I think YYF on Wind Ranger did that a lot at TI2. But the main thing is that you still have to have impact as an offlaner, right?
Right.
Like if you don't die but you're level 2 at 6 minutes, it's pretty much worthless.
Dakshka doing a little bit of hard cam stacking, presumably. What's the build, by the way, for offlane Enigma?
He's going to go for probably, like the thing is,
Go the normal mech route?
a normal player would go for a mech, but Bambo could always go, no, he's going to go mech. Like there's no way he's not. But I bet he goes mech into Blink Dagger instead of going for, let's say, the BKB.
Yeah. BKB would be...
Actually, the BKB would be nearly useless here. Because you've got the Jug Ultimate that can cancel it, the Blink Call, I think if you're at like the lip at the end, you've got the Magnus RP and the Bane Grip. So Bambo probably just has to go for the Blink Dagger second.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty smart call. This is not a very friendly black hole game, that's for sure.
No, there's
But then again, he's meant to be more of the response to the RP, right?
Yeah, it's just in case you overcommit with any of your abilities. Midnight Pulse is really good against those types of heroes too. Like if Arise uses the RP and then gets stunned and then you lay down Midnight Pulse, it becomes really hard for him to work distance.
Right.
And it's good against the Axe as well. Like when you initiate with a call on your Axe, you're not running away or moving, right? Like you're typically just going to sit there and try to get some damage and control off. And so the Midnight Pulse is going to work out a lot there too.
Sasuke doing something smart here. It's actually rotated to that off lane while they have Bambo doing the jungle.
Oh, and at top.
Yeah, they're actually trying to still force this one, but Bambo's still going to be able to get away from Paris, and looks like Arise came over as well, but still managed to get the tower. Big advantage of having the Enigma, whether as a 4 position or as an off lane, always able to take down early towers. Which this team feels like the pressure, like, they should be able to take at least, I feel like, 1 or 2 of these towers in the first 15 minutes of the game. Between the Wind Ranger and the Enigma, there's a lot of early game power there. Just being able to create that small amount of space in the very beginning of the game, and then fall back on the Phantom Lancer to obviously come into the mid game around 30 minutes.
He's going to RP mid into the Fiend's Grip,
Yeah.
100%. He hasn't shown his Blink Dagger yet. Oh, now it reveals he just has to go for it right now.
No, the Fissure! It actually just happened to stop Arise at the perfect time there. Arise smoked up, first reveal, the Blink Dagger and everything, and not getting a successful pickoff.
That would have been so huge, because that would have been a guaranteed kill on Pycat right there.
Yeah.
Like, if you notice, Mad was waiting that entire time too. Like, he has his level 6, he gets skewered into the Fiend's Grip. There's very little that the Wind Ranger can do, even if the Airshaker's there.
Right.
Because he might just be a little bit too far away and the damage might be a little too much, but EGM, I mean, as soon as the Blink comes in, he was right there with that.
And he's not really needed. Like, he really hasn't been needed top this whole entire time, right? So he rotated once to be able to get the kill on the Axe, but that's about it. Like, he can afford to just kind of babysit their mid laner, especially since Wind Ranger is known to be perhaps a little bit more of a carry mid, simply because the DPS out from Focus Fire is so strong nowadays.
Yeah, I think they're going to go for the Smoke Ink on mid, or even in the safe lane. Like, that was the C deck strat, where you go in the safe lane early, rotate your carry in like 2 heroes, and try to pressure the safe lane. And that might be a good play by them. But
Man. Hit by the Fissure, Focus Fire, but there's no Shackle Shot latch there. And that ward's actually not going to be denied. Mad still picks it up. By the way, Blitz. You are talking about flaming Twitch chat, but a lot of times they're still right.
Yeah?
They're right on this one. Juggernaut ultimate doesn't do the mini stun anymore.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you can still TP out, just TP away from it.
I remember that because people were complaining about how broken it was.
Yep.
That was when the hero, and then they just did everything possible to change it, right?
Yep.
Because you can Ghost Scepter TP now, too, as a result.
Paris is dead. Really good gank there from Bambo and EGM rotating around the side. And Arise. I mean, that's the perfect kind of gank, right? You successfully get it, you back out, but you also manage to force rotations. I think that was 2 TPs, and even Mad started walking over. It creates a lot of space. In fact, you could see already Wind Ranger start slowly but surely chipping away at that middle tower.
Yeah, but Sing Sing's still doing a really good job right now. He's second in net worth. He's just farming away. The supports, when it comes to net worth, are ahead of 4CLs as well. But I mean, right now, 4CL are just kind of outmaneuvering Monkey Freedom Fighters because you don't want to play this reactively, especially when you've got the more active lineup.
Right.
You probably wait for the Axe to get something like his Blink Dagger, and then you just get all-out aggressive because you don't want to just give up space right now. Because when it comes to like the absolute late game, I feel like 4CL have the advantage with just if you get a black hole, you win a fight.
Yeah, I mean, just talking tempo-wise, having 2 cores that go for Blink Daggers, like, as their kind of first item, says so much about your lineup that you really need to make use of those pickups, you know, probably around that 15 to 20-minute marker in order to start getting pickoffs and perhaps getting some objectives out of it as well.
Oh, for sure. And the Rubik rotates bottom. They just want to try to keep all their towers up as they can. And right now, Monkey Freedom Fighters are in a really weird position where now the laning phase is past, so it's really easy for 4CL to take these tower defense fights. Like, they'll take them every single time. Like, that's why it's so important to try to pressure the safe lane tower during the laning phase, just because it becomes so much harder at this point. Like, you have to commit smokes that you don't really want to use. You don't know where their ward vision is exactly, and it's actually going to be 4CL again that are smoked up.
Looks like they were trying to, check on Roshan, but they'll just find a free kill on Mad. A 4-man smoke with 5 heroes bottom, though, not really worth it just to get a support. So it looks like they're going to try and turn this into the Tier 1 tower. Now, at this point, Radiant side, I mean, you've got to defend this, right? If you've got... Well, they don't quite have the Blink Dagger on Paris. So perhaps that makes them think twice about it.
I think you still go for the defense because it's a pretty crucial tower to keep up in the game. And you've got this Arise Magnus Blink Dagger, which is really significant. Like, you want to try to get aggressive here, but they have to get this D-ward off because everybody's walking through vision right now, and 4CL just have the better positioning. A large part of this fight is going to come down to if Arise can get a pretty decent black hole off. But it looks like 4CL, they do seem interested in still fighting. Like, they know they have the mechanism advantage for sure.
Yeah, the smoke coming in from the side. Mad is going to reveal Swift Ending, trying to go for that sleep, but still a jump away. And Mad taking a small amount of damage. I think they're just trying to bait the Phantom Lancer in at this point in time because Paris is ready to go with his blink. Oh, it's actually, never mind. He picked it up, but it's on the courier now, so stalling for time at this point. And looks like 4CNL are actually going to back out, not willing to take that fight anymore.
It just gets dangerous the longer that the game goes on, and you've got control of the map right now with how many towers you have, but good response by MFF to all go down there, just because you can't give up that tower. Like, at that phase of the game, you're willing to take that fight, just because you have a lot of the advantages, right? Like, 4CL don't know exactly where you are.
Right. What is so important about the safe lane tower? Is it just because it secures Sing Sing's jungle farm?
Yeah, for sure. Because if you're able to enter this area and just get control freely without any sort of TP response coming in,
right,
especially when you're trying to farm one of these 2 camps, it's miserable. And if you can take the mid tower and that bottom tier 1 out too, it opens up Roshan, the jungle. It becomes really hard to pressure at that point.
Yeah, Mask of Madness nowadays is known as more of a farming item than anything else, right? So between the Mask of Madness and the Empower, this says a lot about what they want to be able to do with this Juggernaut. And that is dedicating a lot of farm time to him, both in his jungle as well as potential Ancient stack, which we can see.
Oh, Mad. For a second he was stuck there, but he should be able to get out.
They've given a lot of room to Yapzor as well. Pretty typical for when you are running the Lina support. Looks like middle lane, Paris has managed to grab. Oh yeah, they're actually just going to miss everything that they have to be able to take out Pycat here. Paris actually missed the ultimate, and Pycat is getting some distance away. They still have some blinks up.
Oh, he even dodges that, and they actually guessed wrong.
They went the wrong direction. Arise, he doesn't have the skewer. There's no way they can stop this one. 2 different rotations, 3 different rotations, 2 different blink daggers, one of them which used their ultimate for it. Actually, they both used their ultimate for it. That all just came down to a very clutch use of the magic wand to be able to dodge that Culling Blade.
Yeah, and that's pretty significant because I think that actually allows 4CL to go for that bottom tier 1 tower. Like, if they can allow the PL to just continue to farm out the jungle and get ahead of Sing Sing, who has to be in the area if potential fight breaks out, whereas Pycat can just rotate down there and they can go for something, and you already see, like, they're just ditching this, so, like, there's no way we're going to defend this without the RP. There's no reason to really try.
Right. Satsuka.
Oh, that's so awkward.
Yeah. Pretty aggressively realizing it just hides himself in the trees and TPs out. As you said, the tier 1 tower will go down without any sort of fight from MFF. Now, Sing Sing is not actually still going for, like, I thought maybe he'd go Mask of Madness and then into the Battle Fury, but it's just because the 50% Empower, that's enough of a cleave to deal with the Phantom Lancer, right?
Yeah, if you have the Magnus empowering you at all times, and he's never going to use it on anybody else, really.
Right.
It doesn't make a big enough difference. It's probably worth it for him to just scale a little bit better. Like, the Battle Fury, it's not like you're an anti-mage where you farm crazy fast because you have a Battle Fury. A hero like Juggernaut, the Mask of Madness is really enough. And he's got items that he can Rosh with, too, if they win one fight.
This could be a very big pick-off. If Mad manages to get the Quick Nightmare here on the Phantom Lancer, they could just burst him down with the Laguna Blade. And that would also mean not only stopping the Phantom Lancer's farm, but also ensuring that Yapzor gets that pretty fast Yule Scepter.
Yeah, this PL has a pretty absurd amount of farm right now. Like, he's got Boots of Travel, drums.
Fiend's Grip gets laid down. Now, they will be able to stop that Fiend's Grip, but Bambo should still be falling here. Maybe not. Paris actually not in range of the call as he blinked on forward, and now Satsuka able to go on to Mad, does have the Brain Sap, tries to burst him down, not quite enough damage. EGM's coming over, Yapzor's going to put a stop to that one. Laguna Blade goes out, plus the RP, locking down 2. Skewer over into the river right next to Beaver Knight, but Swift Ending able to jump back over the cliff, gets called out by Paris, held in place and easily bursted down. Satsuka comes back, trying to burst down
He's not
Yapzor
gonna be able
once
to
again
get
with
this.
Brain Sap, but he can't get that one. Overcommit, and now he's going to be going down as well. In fact, Sexy Bambo may easily just be run down underneath this tier 1 tower. He does have a TP. Paris on his way, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to get there in time. Just a little bit too shy. Still, though, a great fight there from Monkey Freedom Fighters. And not only do they get a number of kills there, shut down the Phantom Lancer a little bit, but also get that tier 1 tower.
They just didn't really have a lot of burst damage, and they don't without items. Like, Pycat has to get that Aghanim Scepter before he can really start contributing in these fights.
Right.
And at the same time, I mean, everybody from MFF is just built for fighting right now. Like you talked about, multiple Blink Daggers. Sing Sing's built for this mid-game kind of build with this SNY and this Mask of Madness. It's really hard for the Phantom Lancer to be able to participate in fights. He's only got 1100 HP. Like we talked about, this is a really greedy build, and all of a sudden the Juggernaut just skyrockets in farm.
Is this, is the Axe going for BKB here? I guess it is, like, you're decently mana dependent, and the Diffusal Blade that you know is going to be coming in for the Phantom Lancer, like, no matter how much you shut him down, with this amount of farm that he already has, the Diffusal will come up, so I guess that's one way to deal with that mana burn, but I think we kind of talked about it earlier on both sides, that BKBs are not going to be the most assured to be able to block all those disables.
I think it's more just the fact that if you blink in and you've got other melee cores behind you, you definitely don't want to get shackled behind them or potentially screwing up a fight if you're your team. So I think it's a good decision, and it's a pretty good defensive position as well to take. But it does look like Bambo's going to go for the BKB. Probably still values the fact that he can walk in and get it off. And it's just a good item this game. Honestly, it blocks out so much of the damage from MFF, but they're in a really good position now as they even things up 4-4. Yapzor's in a really awkward spot right now.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the telekinesis still. The call gets laid down. Yapzor does have the Laguna Blade. They're going to blow up the Rubik and use that extra movement speed to get out. In fact, EGM, they're going to keep moving forward. EGM, unfortunate, as the Omni Slash does bounce back to him, and they get a secondary kill and will take control of this tier 1 tower quite easily.
Man, this lineup is just so greedy right now. It's unable to really fight. In the mid game, they did a really good job of maneuvering around, but as soon as the Radiant were able to just pick up 1 or 2 of their Blink Daggers, they've just been outmaneuvering them around the map. This is probably going to mean a Roshan too. Like, they know that there's no Blink Daggers on the side of 4CL, so if they want to take a Rosh fight, it's not too difficult for them as well. Like, there's just so many possibilities that enter up. Like, they'll probably go for this tier 1 tower bottom just because it's low and they're in charge of the game right now.
Yeah, you might as well build up that net worth a little bit more. I already have the Yule Scepter on Yapzor, so you can start working towards the Aghanim Scepter. The RP is still ready to go, so they're okay with another fight. Smoke up, and they actually jump into the Roshan pit just at the same time that Arise does something similar, but a Force Staff and a Skewer away. Nicely played. Does get him over the cliff and away from that double damage Wind Ranger.
Yeah, I think that 4CL had the same idea. It was like, okay, they could probably go for the Roche. We don't have the best vision over there. Like, they just placed down a ward, and so a little bit awkward for them, where they have to commit to checking it with a lot of heroes, but they're in an okay spot, if not for the fact that Sing Sing just has like an absurd amount of farm right now. There's a 10k net worth at 20 minutes. The nearest to him is that 8.6 from the Phantom Lancer, but there's going to be a really sick timing that Monkey Freedom Fighters hit here, where they just scale so well, like into the mid game.
Right. What's the item build for the Juggernaut next? Do we still go for the Manta, or do we go straight into like a tankier build with Scotty?
The Scotty's a really good option. Going for something damage-oriented, like going for a Butterfly, isn't too bad here either.
Right.
You could deal with a lot of the Wind Ranger's damage, but man, this next fight, 4CL could get into a fight here.
Oh, EGM actually gets called out. They still get the Shackle Shot onto Paris, but
taking
EGM
so much damage.
is definitely done for. They're going to be able to get the Culling Blade off. And meanwhile, Sing Sing just continues to beat on that Roshan. They keep getting vision from these power shots, but especially without a Blink Dagger on the Enigma, they really have no quick way of being able to jump in. So they'll just give up Roshan, and that seems to be a really good read by Monkey Freedom Fighters, knowing that they could easily take a Roshan fight, even with some of the reveal that 4CNL have. Oh, and now they're going to take this Ancient stack as well. Paris spotted that one out, and it's going to be his BKB.
I mean, part of it too is that when you start to take those fights in the middle lane, and especially the one at top, it really emboldens your team. Because at that point, you know once you've killed their carry, and your core is farming at an equivalent pace, that you're just going to get ahead. Right. And there's no way that a Phantom Lancer can fight like a Juggernaut can in the mid game, right? A Phantom Lancer is there for the 6 slot, where he can rat Dota you, and just do a lot in that phase of the game. Like, when it comes to this, though, like, this is where Juggernaut really reigns supreme. The mid-game fights where he can really put his mid-game items to work. Like, he's got an SNY, a Mask of Madness. You're not getting away from that.
Arise earlier using the Force Staff on Mad when he gets Telekinesis. It's probably one of the nightmare scenarios for Rubik when he's dealing with early Force Staffs, just because your disable means so little at that point in time.
Yeah, and right now, they're just getting control of the map, and they don't really have to force anything. They've got the Aegis. They're just going to try to get all their core items up. Like, there's no reason to have to force anything.
Right.
4CL, if you lose a fight against 4CL's lineup, like, you get caught by a massive black hole or something, the game just instantly swings the other way, as we saw earlier. And so they have to be careful. They can wait out their advantages and just kind of play this game slowly.
Farm-wise, it looks like Sing Sing should be able to finish up his Scotty before they lose the Aegis. So he could actually get that big upgrade in damage and then still turn for more. Pycat taking some damage from Yapzor, but there's not a whole lot of fear there. The bigger fear is Soxka, who unfortunately managed to steal Fiend's Grip earlier, but will immediately lose it with his death there in the bottom river.
Yeah, and it just feels like they're not really on the same page here, because going for that ward felt a little bit risky, but at the same time, it's going to reveal a lot of the heroes from Monkey Freedom Fighter, so it's not like it's a pointless death. And Bambo's getting pretty close to his BKB, which he'll pick up in base just by waiting out. And this might actually signal them to get into a fight, if not for the fact that Sing Sing still has that Aegis, and it's a really dangerous one to take too.
Yeah. The pick off on the Rubik, and they can even afford to have Matt sitting up there in that top lane, making sure there's no split push possibilities. He was ready to go. If anybody showed up, to go for the sleep and potential Fiend's Grip in order to wait those TP rotations. Sing Sing easily getting that tier 2 tower, now up to 3,200 gold. Blink in, RP just on one. EGM is going to be the quick pickoff here, but 4CNL
they're going to go for
don't
more.
really have a response. Paris jumps in for more, grabbing Sexy Bambo. Yule Scepter usage is going to be able to dodge a lot of that Omni Slash, and now he actually pops the BKB, has the black hole, 2-man black hole.
Oh, this is going to get canceled.
EGM's coming in for the Echo Slam, holds on to, able to take out at least that Aegis, but still, it's going to be a lost fight as it looks like, or maybe not. Swift Ending going for a Rise, trying to pick that one up. Beaver Knight fighting up against the PL as best as possible. Nice dodge on the Light Strike Array. And 4CNL start actually pursuing, looking for a little bit more, knowing that both the RP as well as that Omni Slash are down.
This is such an awkward fight for them to take, though. The re-engage potential is so nice.
Yeah, Pycat actually getting caught here, easily bursted down by Sing Sing. Paris getting the call on Asatsuka will ensure yet another kill. 4CNL losing 4 now, and all they claimed out of that was the Aegis.
Yeah, that was a fight that originally looked okay, but they still just don't have enough damage. And a large portion of that just comes from, if you look at the difference in net worths when it comes to the supports alone, like the Bane doesn't have a whole lot, but the Lina is just... If you add up the 2 supports' net worth, he almost doubles that by himself. Like, he's about to pick up an Aghanim Scepter, and it's a Lina at the same time. He just puts out so much damage right now, and there's very little that 4CNL can do to fight right now. Like, Swift Ending just has to get more farm.
At this point, do you think he should be with his team at all in the middle lane, or should he be focused on split pushing more?
I think after that fight especially, you just go for the high ground defenses. Like, that should just kind of show an alert to your team. Okay, there's almost 0 chance that we can take a fight. Like, we got a 2-man black hole, we got the Echo, they used the Juggernaut ultimate and the Magnus RP, and we still lost the fight.
Man, starting off Fisher. Oh, nice call out from Paris. Pops the BKB and just turns and fight. Matt is going to be bursting down pretty quickly here, but so too will EGM. Nice light strike array actually controlling 2. Beautiful placement there from Satsuka, and they still get an RP, but it's only on 1. That's why Swift Ending is going to come in, already locked in by the light strike array, but a beautiful shackle. Locking down Beaver Knight with the control on the rise as well, but he still gets off the Omni Slash. Bouncing away with that jump away. Swift Ending still going to get hit by another stun, and Sing Sing just keeps on going to work with the 2-man call. This is over. They're all going to fall on the side of 4CNL, 18-5, and right in front of a tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and this might actually even mean that they decide to go for the high ground here and just force buybacks, because there's not a whole lot they can do anymore to take fights. Like, there's just 0 chance that you want to go for the outside fights anymore. When it comes to buybacks, it's only Pycat too, but it looks like they're just interested in farming out the jungle. There are 2 heroes alive, but they're both supports. At the same time, like, you're going to feel really good if you're a fan of MFF right there because of how dominant that fight looked.
Oh yeah, look at the net worth, 16,000 on the Juggernaut now compared to the 10K on this Phantom Lancer. I mean, at this point, it's pretty clear cut what you need to do on MFF, right? You just sit back, you farm up, try to make sure there's not too many pickoffs, and wait for the next Roshan. Once you have that secondary Aegis, you can easily go uphill.
I think
not easily. It is going to be difficult, but you'll have a lot better shot with that extra life.
I think part of the issue in both, when you look at both lineups too, is that it's incredibly hard for 4CNL to stop anybody from MFF from initiating on them, right? Like, the axe call is always going to happen, especially if you don't have ward vision everywhere on the map. And that's part of the thing we talked about too, is that if you're playing with this type of lineup, you have to be in control of the game. You have to be playing aggressively, because if you play defensively like this, there's just so many different ways that you can get attacked from. And Sing Sing just has too much HP, he's always going to get his ultimate off. And that's the thing, is that everybody from MFF should be able to get their abilities off without too much of an issue.
Oh, Paris slightly off the mark there with that call. But still looks like they're going to take this tier 2 tower. And that'll be the last remaining outer tower from 4CNL. And all they're going to get out of it is just a little bit more time. Swift Ending is currently trying to aggressively push in that top lane. But seems to be no way that they're going to try and defend this one.
He definitely needs at least one more major item on top of that Mantis style to be able to fight. If you notice how quickly his illusions go down when Sing Sing pops the Mask of Madness,
right,
and he's got that Empower, it's absurd.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant structures are fortified.
Yapsor, level 14, Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, he's huge. I mean, especially when they're able to clear through those illusions so quickly, it becomes very apparent which one is the real Phantom Lancer. In which case, Yapsor can put that pure damage nuke to work.
He nearly one-shots any one of the heroes on 4CNL.
Pretty absurd. For 30 minutes in the game, for a support to be able to have that kind of firepower. In fact, he's well ahead of Bambo as well as Pycat when it comes to the net worth chart.
Yeah, a lot of that comes down to the Aegis, the towers, but still, I mean, a 4 position, you don't really want to be in that type of position where, as a mid player, even with all those advantages, because he hasn't been able to farm too much. And as I say that, he's got 100 CS somehow. That's just what Yapsor does, and it just feels like everybody on MFF right now are firing on all cylinders. They're playing their lineup really well too. But 4CNL, they still have a lot of ways to get back into this game. Like, they've got one of the better late game carries, and you're always going to kind of feel comfortable as a team because you can always tell yourself, like, we've got a Phantom Lancer.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, you've got a Phantom Lancer. If you don't have that hero and you've got some sort of mid-game carry, then you feel awful. And you're just like, there's no way we're going to get back into this game.
And you still have really good high ground defense. Earthshaker, Enigma, even to a certain extent, Rubik is rather dangerous going uphill against, just because he always has such a good positioning advantage that I feel like it makes it really easy for you to be able to steal very critical spells. For example, like Arise going forward and trying to hit that RP, well, there's oftentimes a lot of hiding spots for Rubik, especially on the side lanes.
Oh, for sure. And if you look at MFF's lineup too, there's not a whole lot of ways that they can go for the high ground like you talked about. Jug isn't a hero that you just want to send up by himself.
Right.
You've got the Axe, who doesn't really provide anything when it comes to physical damage. Magnus is the same way. That's why you're noticing that they're just taking as many fights as they can outside of the base.
Pycat. Kind of stuck in the trees, but doesn't look like he's going to be scouted out. Swift ending. Again, pushing out that top lane. Actually chose to go for the SNY over the Manta. Is this just because the immediacy of the kind of impending team fights that he needs to stat up as much as possible for now?
Yeah, I think the Yasha just helps with your farm. It's one of the more efficient items when it comes to that.
Yeah.
It gives you move speed.
It's just normal to see the Yasha to go into the Manta at that point.
I think it's just in response to what MFF have. Like, they just have so many different ways to deal with the illusions.
Right.
Like, one of their supports is one of the better ways at clearing it. Yapsor playing the Lina. You've got an empowered Juggernaut who's got a sick amount of farm right now. Like, he has an MKB, a Scotty, an SNY, Mask of Madness at 32 minutes.
All right, time to push uphill. 32.5 minutes, 18-5. Monkey Freedom Fighters have a very dominant lead right now, but this is really the hard part. High ground defense up against some big time ultimates. Sing Sing leading the way right now with his Aegis. But here comes the Phantom Lancer illusions start burning away their mana. Sing Sing taking a small amount of damage here, will get the telekinesis. There's no real follow-up to this. They don't want to overextend themselves up against the Aegis.
Yeah, and I don't think this is an ideal situation where you want to lose the Aegis like this. Unfortunately, they don't have a mech and they don't have any urn chargers, so he's probably just going to go to the Ancient stack and just try to do that and gain as much HP as he can, and they'll most likely wait for the next healing ward. Like, they're not in any rush. Like, this Aegis is going to last for as long as this push needs to go, and there's a really good chance that if they can wipe them inside the base and take racks, the game just ends.
Right.
Because they'll take multiple sets.
Something very critical. One of the big downsides of slow sieging is that you're very susceptible to split push, but they've already forced the Phantom Lancer back. So he's not up there in that top lane, you know, pressuring and actually threatening the other opposing tier 3 towers. So there really is no timeline on this push whatsoever. They can go ahead and take it as slow as they want.
Yeah, so they do smartly decide to wait for it. They're going to send Sing Sing up, and he's just going to Blade Fury to get the tower. And
if you never see an opening, do you just never force the fight and give up a lane of racks in exchange for more time?
I don't know, because there's no
Joe bit Rise. He managed to grab 2 there with Beaver Knight ready to go with the Omni Slash, easily clearing up 2. EGM also caught by Paris, and that just leaves 2 cores on the side of 4CNL. Not going to be enough to fight back against this team. Nice jump away, dodging the Light Strike Array. And they're just poking at this team, but they will be losing at least their melee racks here. Looks like Monkey Freedom Fighters are actually going to play it very safe and back out away from this 5 versus 3. Knowing that their ultimates are down. Oh, Sing Sing. Never mind, he wants to go back in for the range tracks, finish it off before they back away. Paris actually another great jump in with the Shiva's leading the way, managing to get the 2-man call with the skewer on top. Managing to take out 2, and there it is. 4CNL tap out. Game number 1 going to Monkey Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, after that RP, there's almost no way that you're going to get back into the game, and that's part of the issue is when you're playing defensively against a Magnus, you don't have those wards outside because of the gem on the Bane. There's very little you can do to not get RP'd. Like, somebody's going to get RP'd.
Right. So very well played by Monkey Freedom Fighters. I would say a pretty dominant game by them. It felt like ever since about the 15-18 minute mark, they